Hello Collective, this is Tad from Artemis Oracle. Well, this reading is for Scorpios. So for Scorpios, let's see what the Scorpios need to know at this time. Scorpios. Going into the Witching Hour Oracle to see what your Oracle message is for today. Whenever you come across this video. Okay. Mud and moss, stagnacious. Some of you are probably feeling like you're stuck in a situation, stuck in life, like there's no momentum, like there's no movement going on. You may be even feeling a bit vulnerable too. So you may be at this place where you're not you're at someone else's mercy. It seems like. Coven. Soul family. You know what's interesting? It feels like, you know, like if you're feeling lonely and like there aren't any changes, that you may need to reach out to some sort of community. It could be it could be your own family, or it could be your soul family. Or maybe some of you are needing to try to find a way to connect to your soul family. Which is brew. Seek alternative solutions. You know, the spider is there. It's interesting. I'm gonna go into each card's meaning. I feel like you have to do something different. Kind of like stepping out of your comfort zone. I know for us Scorpios, we tend to like to be in the dark side. And you know, there are us Scorpios that do, you know, we do have this positive demeanor. You know, I tend to be like that. It could be because of my Leo moon. It depends on everybody's placement. But some Scorpios are moodier than others. And it could be a moody time for you when you're watching this video, this reading. So stagnation, rock bottom, down and dirty, new strategies. And it's funny that the Witch's Brew says seek alternative solutions. So you need to, it's asking for you to try something new, try something different. And it says here that the Tarot Companion is just Strength card. Everyone, no matter how joyous their life is overall, experiences their unique version of rock bottom. That an undesirable place where all hope feels lost and you're not sure how to pull yourself back up. It feels like quicksand or the thickest of muds. It's dirty, cold, and it can feel like no one is around to save the day. Perhaps the saddest card in the deck. Mud and moss appears in your reading when a similar experience is upon you or you're in need of SOS. This card reminds you that although your circumstances may appear dire and you have sustained wounds, you can still pull yourself out of the mud. To do so, look to your inner strength rather than seeking a knight in shining armor. You are guided to do the dirty work yourself and be willing to take on the tasks that may have previously seemed beneath you. It can also mean doing the hard work you've been avoiding, like exercising if your goal is to lose weight, saving money instead of splurging if you want to be debt-free and financially secure, putting yourself out there on a dating app if you're seeking new love, or apologizing when you know you're in the wrong. It's time to stop doing what's brought you here and try a new strategy. It only takes one thing to hold onto when you're slipping down into a dark place. When times are desperate, look for something solid to ground you and keep you steady. Commit to doing one thing until you can reach the next step of your self-rescue. It can take one step at a time, and before you know it, you'll be free and back in the sunshine. And it says the companion cards are the High Priestess, Seasons of the Witch, the Flames, and Bewitched. We didn't get those cards. We didn't get those cards. Okay, the next card we got is 17. Yeah, definitely. So some of you are needing to reach out to people that you can, you know, you can rely on. People who can support you, who can help guide you out of a dark place or this dark period that you may be experiencing. You know, and it could also be a time for you to go within and to, you know, try to look for the brighter side of the situation, or even try to, you know, do, like I said, going within and doing the dirty work, doing the stuff you have to do, facing your fears, facing your demons, you know. 17. Coven, soul family, acceptance, putting yourself out there, the family you choose. And the companion tarot card is the Three of Pentacles. So we're going to see if those cards come out in the reading. A coven is the family you choose, which supports you in ways that extend beyond any one ritual or spell. It's a connection that's richer than friends. It's an alignment of people who share a soul mission expressed in infinite ways. The thread of connecting this soul family is so divine and aligned that only the universe could have possibly brought these people into your life. This kind of kindred fellowship is only available to those who have done the beautiful, complex work of finding and embracing the true self. You are living so authentically that you radiate truth through every cell of your being, and that authenticity sends out a signal to the right group of people, a call that only those in soul agreement with yours can hear. There is a coven available to you, and they will begin making their way to you once you have accepted who you are. You will know them instantly when you allow yourself to be seen and you are not judged for it. Of course, that means sometimes you will share parts of yourselves that others will reject. While it may be painful at first, rejoice in knowing these people are not for you and you are not for them. You can move forward with the knowledge that will have no place in the family, that they will have no place in the family you are gathering for yourself. Receiving this card is a sign that new people are entering your life. For relationships, this can mean a new love interest who has the potential to be a soulmate partner, or you may welcome a bundle of joy soon. For finances or career, you may meet a mentor or someone who can help you advance sooner. Yes, I love this. I love this. It's about putting yourself out there. Some of you may be feeling like you're not good enough, that you're not this or that enough, and you could be holding yourself back. But sometimes you need that little extra support and guidance and motivation from friends, and for people who appreciate who you authentically are, who you are not pretending to be, who you don't have to put up a facade with, you know? So the companion card's familiar, deep being, and dance, and those cards didn't show up, but it's interesting that one of the key things is putting yourself out there. Okay, 26, 26, which is brew. There's a remedy for your problem, seek an alternative solution. And the Fool or Death card are the tarot companion cards. Flying Ointment, Enter Your Own Risk, Knowing and Forgotten Ghosts are the companion oracle cards. And it's not uncommon for someone to seek out alternative healing. If mainstream methods fail, they might turn to herbalism, folk healing, witchcraft, or similar if desperate for an answer or solution to a chronic problem. This card represents that moment when it may be time to seek out unusual methods or to get out of your comfort zone. What you have and what you've been doing isn't working, so it's time to broaden your understanding of what is right, good, or valuable. If your reading is about love, you may need to consider dating someone who is not your usual type. If you're inquiring about a career or business, it could be a time to try learning skills that until now seemed like something you could skip past. If your question is of a spiritual nature or about your life purpose, look to the things that scare you most. Is the fear rooted in genuine caution, or are you just afraid to step out of your comfort or safety zone? Additionally, this card is your confirmation that there is a solution to your problem. Even if you can't see it right now, consider reaching out to someone you wouldn't normally seek out for advice. They may have an interesting perspective that could end up being exactly what you need. I love this. All these cards are basically saying that if you're in a hard place, and you're vulnerable, you're naked, you're afraid, you don't know what to do, you feel you have to allow yourself to reach out to the people who you know can be a source of support and guidance, like I mentioned earlier, but also look for different ways or a different perspective, possibly look at different methods to solve a particular problem you may be experiencing, and possibly reaching out to people who you wouldn't even think could be a source of support to you. Okay, so let's see. What is this about? Okay, some of you may have undergone or healing from some kind of heartbreak that may be involving a home situation, because we have the Four of Wands with the Four of Swords. You know, some of you probably experience, you know, it's funny because this person looks excluded, like they're excluded, that they're alone, uncared for, unwanted. But this could be a mindset that you have, you know, but it could be actually something that's actually going on, something that is requiring healing. Let's see. We got the Three of Cups with the Two of Wands. I feel like somebody maybe wanting to look an Ace of Cups, and we heard in the cards they mentioned new love. The first two cards, Coven and Mud and Moss, mention new love. So this could be about loving yourself, renewing that self-love that you have for yourself, taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself, even finding different ways to, or different solutions of how you can fill your own cup, because you see both of these have the cups, you know? Maybe you have to look at things from a different perspective, you know? It's also being open too. Because coming out of your comfort zone requires a level of openness on your part. You know, allowing yourself to be seen, to be heard, recognized. Because some people, they, you know, if you're a Scorpio, you kind of want to be in sometimes we want to be in the sidelines. We want to be, you know, the observer rather than the participant, you know. Got the King of Wands. Yeah, this is about taking action, taking autonomy, control, action in your own life. And look at the lion in the background. This is about knowing your inner strength, knowing that you have the skills, the power within you to go after whatever it is you want, or to overcome whatever you're going through that you may be feeling stuck in. But with the Three of Cups and the Two of Wands, this is like someone who's like thinking about the future, thinking about how they can bring more happiness into their life. So some of you may be feeling unhappy about something. It's interesting because when I look at, she's facing out the window, right? And then the card right next to her, I'm gonna say her because it's a feminine, it's the Ace of Cups. It's like looking out for new love. So it's possibly some of you are wanting to meet somebody new, wanting to open up to love, receiving love and giving love. But remember, seek alternative solutions. This is about looking at things from a different perspective, you know? And this is also like the King of Wands is someone who's brave and courageous, you know? He goes after what he wants. He doesn't let his fear drive him. He allows his passion to drive him. So maybe there's a part of you that feels like your passion has been extinguished in some way, like your flame has been extinguished in some way. So you're gonna have to find different ways of reigniting that flame within yourself, you know? Like for me, I'm gonna use myself as an example. Sometimes whenever I feel like this, I always turn to music and writing to help me. I go and I find new music, and then I learn new songs and I sing. I go learn new dance choreography, you know, just find different ways to remind myself that I'm alive, you know, that I have things to look forward to, that I, you know, not everything is with me. We have the Chariot card coming out too. You know, it's like you're gonna have to charge past this stagnation. Don't allow yourself to get stuck in it, you know? And as the longer you stay still, the deeper you're gonna end up sinking. But you're gonna have to keep moving. You have to keep moving forward, you know? Of course, you're gonna have those moments where you feel like you don't wanna do a damn thing, but do something, you know? Even if it's getting out of your bed and making your bed. You know, it could be as simple as that, you know? It doesn't have to be anything grand. It could be something just to get you started, to get your action nerves activated in some way, you know? It's about nurturing yourself, taking care of yourself. You know, even you getting out of bed and washing your ass is good enough, you know, Scorpio? You can't keep yourself down, though. Yeah, like, that's all that came in my head is I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. So don't keep yourself down. Like, fuck what anybody else has to say or anybody else has to think, because it's your life. They're not living your life. You're living your life. So you have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself. Find stability in yourself. Pray, meditate, do whatever you need to do to bring yourself back to life, you know? But just don't stay knocked down. Reach out to the people that you know care about you and love you and support you. And also just remember to be yourself. I want to know what this, tell me about this Ace of Cups, Knight of Pentacles. I think that's Capricorn. think it's Capricorn. And then we have Justice, Libra. I think it's about you moving towards finding equilibrium within yourself. Allowing yourself to be excited about something. Moving towards excitement. Maybe that's what you need in your life, a little bit more excitement, because maybe things are boring right now. There's nothing really going on, so you may be needing to find ways to, I don't want to say entertain yourself, because entertainment can also be an issue if you're overdoing it, but just doing stuff that kind of makes you excited, you know, like going, like, I'm gonna use myself, I'm the best example, I guess I could say. Like lately, like I've been going to different events at my job, you know, there's different things going on, and I'm like, you know what, I need to go and do these things. And sometimes, I mean, the past few times I've gone with friends, but then there was one time I had to go by myself, but still, it's just like I'm putting myself out there to do things on my own, and even with friends, you know. I mean, some things can be done alone, but then there are certain things that you would like to do with other people. So that could be another thing too, that you may not want to be doing things alone, and you want to be included, you know, and maybe you don't feel included. Like you may be feeling excluded from your own family too, with the soul family and stagnation card next to each other. But the thing is, it's like you're probably going to have to be a bit more proactive in trying to get yourself reintegrated into your family, you know, so that you don't feel left out. Let's see. Yeah, you have to find excitement in your life. Find something to be excited about. And it shouldn't be another person. No, because people will leave. You know, once those people leave, then the excitement's gone. So you need to find ways to make yourself feel happy and meet your own needs. You have to meet your own needs, because not everybody's going to meet your needs. If this is like, if you're thinking about love. And the only reason why I mention this is because of the Ace of Cups. Okay. Tell me about this Four of Swords. What exactly is this healing from? What is this healing from? I know I'm going back and forth. The healing is from, maybe some of you are trying to work on some sort of manifestation. Healing though. Maybe you're trying to manifest healing, change. Tell me about the Magician with healing. The Four of Swords. Magician with Four of Swords. Maybe some of you, I was going to say some of you probably feel like you've been manipulated in some way, and now you have to find a way to restabilize yourself and heal, because maybe some of you, maybe some of you did meet somebody and they did excite you, but then it just, that's all it was. It was just passion. There was no depth, you know, and you're feeling lonely and maybe felt, the Emperor came out with the Knight of Wands. The Emperor is Aries, and the Knight of Wands came out. Or maybe some of you are trying to manifest, like you're healing, and now you're going towards how you can manifest more happiness, more fire, more passion in your life, more excitement too, with the Magician and the Ace of Wands, and then the Emperor. Maybe some of you are trying to manifest an Emperor. I wouldn't be surprised. I would want an Emperor too. Shit, but my ass need to be an Empress. That's a work in progress. Sometimes I teeter-totter. There was a time I was an Empress. Right now I feel like I'm just one of the queens. Seven of Wands in the Moon. I feel like some of you are really keeping your guard up. You're protecting yourself. You're protecting your feelings. You're protecting your desires. But you probably have hidden desires. Maybe things that you kept hidden that you really need to let come out, you know? But like one of the cards mentioned, sometimes there's parts of yourself that you don't really want to share because you don't want to be too vulnerable. But you got to find the right people, because if you're yourself, you know, if you're being yourself, being authentic, then yeah, there's a vulnerability in that, but the vulnerability comes from the possible rejection that you may experience. But if you get rejected, those people aren't for you. Those aren't your people, you know? Knight of Swords, yeah, definitely taking some action, you know. Maybe some of you are going to be taking inspired action, and that's something's going to ignite a fire within you. And then that's going to cause you to start looking at things from a different perspective, or this is what you need to do. You know, allow yourself to be inspired to take action, inspired to do something, inspired to come out of your comfort zone. Because the Two of Wands, this is like wishing and wanting and waiting, but not really doing anything, you know. It's just like there's a sense of longing, you know. But in order for you to really, like, if you're longing, then maybe if there's something that you really want, then you're gonna have to do whatever you have to do to get it, you know. And that's gonna require you taking action, you know, you planning, making strategic moves, you know, and just charging through any stagnation that you're experiencing. Okay, so that's that. What else? I'm gonna end the reading there. The next reading I want to do for Scorpios is a love reading. I want a love reading. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it right because the reading is kind of long right now. So I hope this reading was helpful to someone who needed to hear it, to a Scorpio that needed to hear it, and I hope you Scorpios are having a wonderful birthday season, and I'm wishing you all the best because we are the best. That's our secret, right? That's just us. That's for us to know. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.